Ladies and gentlemen, today is the day after Tesla's earnings, in which that means we have some news. We have a lot of analyst price target adjustments, a lot of them raising their price targets, a few of them actually lowering them. Here in this video, I will give you all of your Tesla stock breaking news. We will look at the option activity, what short sellers are doing, as well as news that came out in our markets today with GDP initial jobless claims and much more. Work is cut out for us here in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like Tesla stock. If you're bullish, let me know down below in the comment section, and let's get started. And let me tell you first things first, Tesla is having a very volatile day of trading. It is very uneven. The stock is volatile. Once we open trading, you actually open for trading around $412 per share was the high of the day. The low of the day was $383. So that is a massive round trip move. And currently you're sitting at about $398 per share, sitting below your 20-day moving average of $404.89, but above your 50-day moving average of $396.48. You're sandwiched between these moving averages. Typically when that happens, you get big moves. Okay, when you're sandwiched between, you normally can start to rally from that point, or things get much worse to the downside. Now, I will tell you in synopsis of Tesla earnings, the numbers were not great. So if you are a Wall Street analyst that doesn't understand Tesla, you're not as excited about Tesla stock right now, okay? Because the numbers, it was a $2 billion miss on revenue. Like, that was not great. That's why the stock fell at one point almost 6% after Tesla earnings yesterday. But there was a lot of huge news on the conference call that really changed everything for Tesla. And I think this really changes the whole story for Tesla. Elon Musk confirmed that new models, not just model, but models are coming in the first half of 2025. A lot of people started to question whether we would even get new models this year. Elon Musk confirmed that unsupervised FSD will launch in Texas in June, and then at some point throughout this year in California, while also mentioning that he's confident that unsupervised FSD, subsequently robotaxis, can launch in other areas of the US this year as well. That is something I talked about in previous videos now for weeks, that I do think is a big deal. Now, how much does Tesla stock rally in anticipation of that? Still, there's uncertainty. What markets, what cities, what states, what's the dates for those things? We don't know. We don't have definitive clarity on that. So I think as time goes, as we really get an unsupervised FSD launch in Austin, Texas, that's when Wall Street might actually start to take notice. Now, Elon Musk also said that Optimus will be in production by the end of this year, probably around 1,000 units per month by the last couple of months of this year, and then scaling to about 10,000 units per month at some point in 2026. That was a big deal. It should really boost margins for Tesla, boost profitability, because Tesla's going to use these bots internally and then start selling them likely by midpoint next year, according to Elon Musk. Now, Elon also gave us guidance, I guess, if you will, that Elon is still in talks with other automakers to license FSD technology. Now, Elon says that it has to be a big deal. Like, there's no point in doing a small deal for licensing of FSD when the car's got to get the Tesla, chip and the, software related to that, and continuously upgrade it as new software comes out. There's no point in actually doing that unless it's a large automaker. So among other things, like Elon Musk saying that Tesla has the potential to be worth more than the top 5 biggest companies combined, that's a lot of what we kind of normally hear from Elon on the conference call. And overall, Elon was very bullish on Tesla. He went as far as to say as 2025 is going to be a historical year for Tesla. That over the next couple of years, things are not going to be the same for Tesla. after 2025 in a positive way. Tesla confirmed they are making another Megapack factory, and even the Tesla Semi will start production here in the next couple of months, as the factory now has a roof and walls put into place. Elon says that could be a $10 billion a year business. Like, it's not nothing, but it's not going to be the biggest driver of Tesla's growth either. So overall, just you couldn't have asked for anything better on the conference call. It was exceptionally bullish. Now, there has been some weird weakness in the markets recently. Not all stocks are created equal these days. You've seen big tech sell off, like Nvidia, down another 3.5% today. Apple, that reports earnings today and after hours, down 0.5%. Microsoft having its worst day in many years. I don't quote me on that, but I believe it's the worst day for Microsoft in a couple of years. Down over 6%, almost 6.5%. Amazon is down 1%. Meta, Google up 2%. Again, Tesla up 2%. So it's a very weird, unbalanced market. And I think some of that big tech volatility has gotten to Tesla a little bit, because I do believe, justifiably speaking, Tesla stock should be a lot higher. And I do think it will be going a lot higher over the next couple of weeks, and certainly over the next couple of months. I keep my $945 price target on Tesla by the end of this year. That, if anything, the earnings call just made me even more bullish on Tesla. Now, before we go ahead and look at all of your news today for Tesla, I do want to share something that I wrote on the X account, my X account last night, as I was just thinking, and really I want to make another post like this. But go follow this if you have not already. It is Michael Tyler over there. Thank you for those of you guys that have followed. Hopefully this follow helps you make more money. I share news as soon as things happen. I keep you guys up to speed when there's important things. We also joke around over there. You can come talk over there. We can have some conversations, disagree, and hopefully agree on some things as well. I wrote this at 2:12 a.m. last night. Yeah, it was, I guess I couldn't sleep. Actually, I watched Oblivion with Morgan Freeman and Tom Cruise. Great movie. Never seen it before, but highly recommend. I wrote this. It says, and maybe maybe because the movie is futuristic, I was thinking about the future. Come to think about it, right? I say, honestly, I don't know if I've ever been more bullish on Tesla stock than I am today. Sure, there will be ups and downs. There will be delays and speed bumps along the way. 2 steps forward and 1 step back is expected. But without a doubt, Tesla will change the world as we know it. 10 years from now, there will be 40 million Optimus bots working on everything from healthcare and home care to manufacturing, warehouse work, landscaping, and farming. There will be 40 million Teslas on the road, driving people around, and auto deaths will be almost unheard of anymore. Tesla will begin operating their own energy company by generating green energy and storing it in Megapack Pro Pluses, and Powerwall 10s will be standard in households. By this time, there will be advances in AI elsewhere, and who knows what Tesla will be getting into. AI healthcare solutions, massive data centers, Tesla phone/lifestyle device with a projector and 3D imaging like the movies. Everything is Tesla's opportunity for the taking, in the long term, of course. Cheers. And you know, it's fun to speculate about these things, but longer term, anything is possible for Tesla. Tesla is like the AI Amazon, if you will. Tesla is going to get into a lot of different things. And what Tesla does get into, they're most likely going to be very successful in. Right? Tesla's already in energy. They're in cars. They're in, AI software, right? And even insurance, for that matter. Okay, Tesla has massive opportunity. So if you are a long-term investor, which I think most of you guys are, and you have a 10-year time horizon, obviously a quarter's earnings, good or bad, doesn't really move the needle for your thesis unless something drastically changes. But I did get exceptionally more bullish after hearing Elon last night. And I mean, I think it's hard not to be more bullish now on Tesla than I was before. With that said, let's go ahead and get into some of your news today. James Stephenson raises his Tesla price target to $522 per share. Longtime bear Craig Irwin raises his Tesla price target to $450 from $380. He's now extremely bullish on autonomy. Technical analyst says Tesla could go to $1,000 in early 2026. And it's macro to macro over here on X. He says, I'm pretty sure Tesla stock is going to the 600s by early Q3 and $1,000 by early 2026, which my price target, $945 by the end of this year, that would roughly be in line with, my year-end expectations. Dan Ives says today really reiterates this, that Tesla's autonomy is worth $1 trillion alone. And again, it just depends on your time horizon. If you have a 10-year time horizon, Tesla's autonomy is worth 5 to 10 trillion, most likely. Obviously, it's going to be speed bumps. There's going to be 2 steps forward, 1 step back sometimes. But it really depends on your time horizon. Typically, when analysts talk about these things, they talk in 12-month time horizons. So whenever you see a price target, think 12 months from now. Think this time in 2026. And Truist Securities raises their Tesla price target to $373 per share. Wedbush analyst says Tesla is a diversified play on AI and robotics. Tesla is an AI ETF. I'll actually show you guys this full clip in the next video because it is about 6 minutes long and we have a lot to cover still in this one. But that next video comes out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Piper Sandler today reiterates their Tesla price target of $500 per share. Bard analyst Ben Callow lowered the price target on Tesla to $440 from $480 while maintaining an outperform rating. Now, again, if you are a Wall Street analyst and you look at numbers, you care about current profitability, you're not really looking at the future, I would understand why you would lower your price target. Analysts like this, it's the typical approach on Wall Street. It's the wrong approach with Tesla. Obviously, this guy missed all of the good news that I shared at the beginning of this video. How can you doubt that? We actually now have a definitive start for unsupervised FSD in Texas. I don't know where this guy's been at, but every single, I don't want to call it a promise because, I don't think that's the right word for it. But every single, date that Tesla has set for something to launch, it's happened. At least in recent times. As I mentioned, Piper Sandler analyst Alexander Potter has reiterated his $500 price target on Tesla. But he says in an analyst note to clients, quote, it appears Tesla spent heavily on clearing outdated Model Y units from inventory, which negatively impacted pricing, but arguably none of this matters for the thesis. Perhaps somewhat surprisingly, Tesla isn't backing down from a commitment to launch new products, plural, across multiple factories in the first half of 2025, and management still expects delivery growth in 2025. Plus commentary reiterates full self-driving software has never been so unabashedly bullish. Quote, autonomy is upon us. Given all this, we're not surprised the stock is trading up 4% in after hours. Now, Tesla also said in earnings yesterday they expect capital expenditures to exceed $11 billion this year and in each of the following 2 fiscal years, the company said in a 10-K filing on Thursday. Tesla had said in October it expected spending to be between $8 billion and $10 billion in 2026. So a little bit more spending, which, if it's on AI, if it's on growing the business, I don't think that's a bad thing. Tesla also says that as of December 31st, 2024, their total employee headcount worldwide was 125,665, down 10.5% year over year. And the Tesla Model 3 was Singapore's best-selling sedan last year. Which, if you guys are unaware, Singapore actually has one of the highest per capita GDP numbers in the entire world. So Singapore is one of the richest countries in the world by GDP divided by per citizen. So it's actually a very developed, very advanced area in Asia. Tesla, on their official X account, posted this short video of the Tesla Model Y, the new one, of course, and says the Model Y had a glow up, the first indirect reflective body panel taillight of its kind. Now, option activity for Tesla stock today is actually really good. And this is a great sign following Tesla earnings. If this was truly a bad earnings, if Wall Street has, just flipped the script on Tesla, you would see this reflected heavily in the options market. It is not today. You have 142 different trades totaling $114.54 million with a positive order value of 86%. That's one of the strongest numbers we have seen in the last couple of weeks. Okay. Now, here on the day today, it looks like you have about 310,000 shares today that are being on net covered on. So you have borrowed shares of 93,000 and return shares of 403,000. That's actually a very, bullish thing, right? To see 300,000 plus shares being covered, that says something. That says people, hedge funds and institutions mainly, don't want to be short in Tesla anymore. And I can't really blame them for that. Now, if we take a look at current Google Trends data, we really want to see the Model Y gaining traction, and we don't see that right now. Okay, that's interesting. That's in the United States. Now, obviously, the Model Y is not selling yet. It's only on pre-order. A lot of people don't know the new Model Y exists. Okay, unless you're an investor, then clearly you know the new Model Y exists. But not a lot of average people do. So it will be interesting to see if search trend activity does start to ramp higher again. Now, Q1's not normally a good quarter for Tesla. Q3, Q4, those are going to be the bigger quarters for Tesla. Q2 is going to be interesting with the expectation of newer vehicles coming. How does that slow things down, retool facilities? There's some question marks around what Q2 could look like, but Q1's typically a pretty slow quarter as is for Tesla. So I'm not super concerned by that. If we take a look at sentiment over on StockTwits for Tesla, it's actually extremely bearish today. Let's just refresh this and make sure we have the right numbers here because, yeah, that's crazy. Retail seems extremely bearish on Tesla, coming in at 9 today. Yesterday, you were neutral at 48. So that's a big flip of sentiment. Message volume today is extremely high at 88. I don't think I've seen message volume extremely high, almost in the 90s. Sentiment in the single digits, extremely bearish, and the stock is actually green. Like, I don't think that's ever happened for Tesla before, where people have been this negative, and there's a lot of people talking about Tesla, and the stock's in the green. Absolutely mind-blowing. Participation ratio today is high at 55. Overall, I would say this is probably a positive, though, considering there's a lot of room for sentiment to improve. If sentiment doesn't improve, that likely means more people will buy into Tesla stock. But again, no guarantees of that. Now, here on the day today, the Dow is up 0.22%, S&P is up 0.16%, NASDAQ down 0.2%. The outperformer today by a long shot is the Russell 2000, up 1.1%, following weaker than expected GDP results. GDP grew at 2.3% pace in the fourth quarter, less than expected. Economists were expecting 2.5% growth, so this came in lower than expected. And why is that good for the Russell? Well, it maybe gives the Fed a reason or an excuse to cut rates. Now, in other economic news, the Labor Department reported initial jobless claims for last week at 207,000. That's a sharp decline of 16,000 from the prior period and well below the forecast of 228,000. So you had, good initial jobless claims numbers, worse than expected GDP numbers. So you would think, kind of cancels each other out. And after all, GDP is still running at 2.3%. That is really good. Bond yields today are down about 2.5 basis points in sympathy of that, down to 4.53%. If 10-year Treasury yields do continue to fall, well, that is going to be good for small caps. And you actually have a lot of the markets that are pretty green today. There's some areas of weakness. Some software like AI names are some are doing well, some are on the weaker side. Microsoft really made things weird with some of the cloud names. Okay, so a lot of, you know, mixed bags out there. Okay, but generally speaking, markets are doing okay. Oil, $72.80 per barrel, up 0.25% today, but you're down a lot since inauguration when you were at $80 a barrel. So you've fallen like almost 10% with oil, and this is overall a positive for the economy, overall a positive for inflation prospects. Now, today in after hours, we will get earnings from Apple, Intel, Visa, KLA, CN, Atlassian, Baker Hughes, Decker Brands, United States Steel, and SkyWest. And then tomorrow morning, we will get ExxonMobil, Chevron, AbbVie, Phillips 66, and Charter. So Apple earnings will be important, and I will give you the breakdown of their earnings in the video coming out later on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also had pending home sales month over month and year over year. Month over month, pending home sales dropped 5.5%. We were actually expecting a 0% change with pending home sales. So home sales actually plummeted versus expectations. And pending home sales year over year came in at -5%. Expectation was actually for positive 4%, and last month was positive 6.9%. So big change year over year and month over month. That is likely feeding into the slight drop in 10-year Treasury yields today, which is again positive for small caps and interest rate sensitive areas of our markets. Now, tomorrow morning, we will get core PCE, personal income, and personal spending, among a speech as well from Fed Bowman and Chicago PMIs. I will give you the estimates for all of that data in the next video. And Tesla stock at the time of recording this video is up 3.26%, trying to get above that 20-day moving average, again at $405 per share. If we can manage to close above that by the end of the day today, that is specifically what you want to see. It doesn't matter too much. Is it a big deal if we don't? I don't think so. I still think the stock is going to go higher over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months, especially as inflation comes down closer to target. I do believe inflation will surprise to the downside for pretty much a majority of 2025, and that will allow the Fed to cut rates, which will really help the demand story for Tesla more than you might imagine. I mean, making it cheaper to get a car, well, I don't know how that doesn't benefit Tesla. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about this information down below in the comments section. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.